I needed to buy a new vehicle, and my sister demanded I co-sign for her. She sent a blunt text with no pleasantries, just an order. I shot back a quick refusal. Keep dreaming. Not long after, my father fired off a message in all caps. Say no, and you're excluded from family gatherings. That evening, I contacted the bank and terminated the joint credit line I'd set up with my parents years ago. By the next morning, my phone was flooded with 36 missed calls, 12 from my sister, 9 from my dad, 8 from my mom, and a handful from cousins and an aunt who just wanted to check in. It was an ordinary Thursday, nothing remarkable. I was at my desk, sorting through paperwork, when my phone vibrated with that long, ominous hum that signals trouble. It was my sister, Hannah, with her demand. I need a new car, you'll co-sign. No hello, no please, just straight to the point. I'm Lucas, 32, working in logistics. I own my home, pay my bills promptly, and everything I have, I've earned through hard work. Hannah, 28, drifts in and out of my parents' house, has cycled through 6 jobs in 3 years, and spends money like it's water. But because she's loud, theatrical, and quick to cry in front of others, she's always painted as the victim. Always. I stared at her text, chuckled, and replied, keep dreaming. I didn't expect her to respond directly, but I knew she'd run to our parents. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, my dad's all-caps message arrived. Say no, and you're excluded from family gatherings. No discussion, no compromise, just a threat. For most, that might hurt. For me, it was the final straw. I got up, poured myself a coffee, and called the bank. There was a shared credit line I'd opened with my parents a couple of years back, pressured into it during an emotionally charged Thanksgiving where they framed me as the reliable one who should help out. Hannah had already maxed it once, splurging on a fancy coffee maker and a $1,200 jacket for job interviews. I told the bank to close it immediately. I signed the forms online, got the confirmation, and felt a weight lift. The next morning, my phone was a war zone, 36 missed calls. I ignored them all, letting the storm pass. This wasn't about a car. It was about control. For years, I'd been their ATM, the responsible one, who never pushed back. They thought I'd fold, like always. Not this time. Let's rewind. 3 years ago, Hannah slashed 2 of my tires because I wouldn't lend her my car for a music festival. She didn't even hide it. She posted a picture of the flats on her Instagram story with laughing emojis. My parents called me dramatic when I demanded she pay for it. They didn't even make her apologize. Then there was last Christmas. They begged me to come to dinner after I'd said no. Halfway through dessert, Hannah had a meltdown, ranting about how I never supported her ambitions. When I told her to calm down, she threw her wine in my face. I stood up, walked to the kitchen, grabbed scissors from the counter, returned, and snipped off a chunk of her precious hair. The room went silent. She screamed like I'd stabbed her. My mom cried. My dad stood there mute. They kicked me out, saying I'd crossed a line, after inviting me, after she threw wine at me. I was the villain. Fast forward. Hannah wrecked the car I'd given her, one of my 2 vehicles. I'd handed over my older car when she was jobless and my parents were struggling. No gratitude, just complaints about the air conditioning and lack of Bluetooth. She crashed it while texting and driving, then blamed the brakes. Now she wanted me to co-sign for a shiny new car, and when I refused, they threatened me? Enough was enough. I wasn't just saying no. I was planning a calculated retaliation. Closing the credit line was step 1. They didn't see step 2 coming. The silence after I shut down the credit line was brief. By noon, the family group chat was chaos. My mom wrote, *Lucas, we need to talk now. This isn't you. *I didn't respond. I left the chat entirely. That afternoon, I called a tow company to retrieve the 2014 Camry I'd lent Hannah. I'd never officially transferred the title, a precaution I'd taken. I'd paid for that car, insured it, and she was just borrowing it while getting on her feet for 18 months. The tow truck pulled it from my parents' driveway, where she'd parked it while pretending to save for a better car, maybe a Tesla. When she saw the empty spot, she called. I didn't answer. I sent her a photo of the car back in my garage and turned off my phone. That night, my cousin Jake texted from his work number. He's one of the few who sees through the family drama. *, she's been raging all day. Yelled at your mom. Your dad tried to get me to talk sense into you. I told him it's time someone put Hannah in check. *, it was the first time in years I felt like someone had my back. The next morning, I found a post-it on my windshield. Asterisk childish. Be better. Asterisk Hannah's handwriting, unmistakable. Ironic, considering she once dumped soda in my laundry because I got mad when she stole my laptop charger. I knew what was coming next, the pity play. 2 days later, my mom called. I picked up, curious. She said Hannah was falling apart, and I needed to be the bigger person. I asked if she remembered the tires, the wine, the Christmas they threw me out after begging me to come. She went silent, then said, asterisk, you know how she is. She's family. Asterisk, I replied, so am I, and hung up. That Sunday was a cousin's birthday party. I wasn't invited. Jake sent a photo. Hannah was there, telling everyone I'd stolen her car, conveniently leaving out that I'd paid for everything. But Aunt Valerie cornered her in front of everyone, asking loudly, why don't you have your own car yet? Hannah's face was stone. The family was fracturing, and I wasn't done. A week after I took the car back, things went quiet, too quiet. No texts, no calls, no passive-aggressive social media posts. In our family, silence means someone's plotting. Jake warned me Hannah was telling people I'd abused her for years, painting herself as the misunderstood underdog and me as the cold, superior brother. She was rewriting our story like a cheap drama script. I still had proof from when I paid off her credit card debt to save our parents' credit after she opened an account in my dad's name. She was building a case to turn the family against me, but some relatives were already fed up. Uncle Dennis called, whispering from his garage, asterisk, she's out of control. Your dad brought up the car, and she cried before he finished. You did the right thing. Asterisk, that's when I went further. I called a local auto auction I knew and listed the Camry. It sold in 2 days, cash, no trace. I texted Hannah a photo of the car being towed away with the message, asterisk sold. No need to be embarrassed by my car anymore. Asterisk, no response. 3 days later, Jake sent me a screenshot of her Instagram story, a high school throwback of her flipping her hair by the ocean, captioned, asterisk, it grows back stronger. So do I. Asterisk, she was bringing up the haircut again. The family acted like I'd lost it that Christmas, ignoring that she threw wine in my face first, called me unlovable, and screamed in front of everyone. I'd snipped her hair, and the silence afterward was blissful, until they kicked me out. Then came her next text at 2:15 a.m., you'll pay for this. The last time she said that, my tires were slashed. I checked my security cameras, nothing yet. But I wasn't waiting for her move. They still had keys to my house. That was about to end. After her threat, I didn't take chances. I took the morning off, went to the hardware store, and bought new locks, heavy-duty deadbolts, and upgraded smart cameras. By 3 p.m., a locksmith had replaced everything. It felt like more than a security upgrade. It was a line in the sand. That evening, I found an envelope in my mailbox. No stamp, my name in neat handwriting. Not Hannah's. Inside was a copy of a letter she'd written to our parents weeks before the car drama. It laid out her plan. Get me to co-sign, fake gratitude, then cut me off. Asterisk, he's weak. Acts tough, but craves approval. He'll give in. Asterisk, she wrote about deserving a win, how I'd made her feel small. At the bottom, in tiny print, asterisk, you didn't get this from me. I'm done watching you take the blame. Asterisk, Jake. Any lingering guilt about the car, the credit line, the haircut, vanished. They'd been playing me. That night, my mom left a voicemail about a family intervention for Hannah's hard time. I listened, sipping coffee, feeling detached. Then I checked the fake rock by my porch where I kept a spare key. It was gone. My security app showed a figure at 2:48 a.m. the previous night, my dad, taking the key without a word. I installed an alarm system, changed the Wi-Fi password, and prepared for the next step, a family barbecue I wasn't invited to. The barbecue was at Uncle Rick's, a neutral relative who liked me more than Hannah. I texted him the night before, and he said, asterisk come, but no drama. I didn't invite you, got it? Asterisk, I agreed, but had other plans. I arrived late, sunglasses on, smiling. My mom looked stunned. Hannah glared like she wanted me gone. I grabbed a soda, greeted Jake and Uncle Dennis, and sat down like I belonged. The tension faded as people pretended I wasn't there. Music played through a Bluetooth speaker, and the mood lightened. That's when I acted. I'd brought a small speaker and synced it to my phone with an audio file. Me reading Hannah's letter, word for word, in a calm, deliberate tone. I waited for a lull, then switched the connection. The music stopped, and my voice filled the yard. Asterisk he's weak. Acts tough, but craves approval. He'll give in. Asterisk silence fell. Once I get the car, he can go back to his boundaries. The recording ended. I turned off the speaker and stood. My mom asked if it was fake. I didn't answer. My dad started to speak, but stopped. Hannah didn't cry or yell. She just left. The barbecue continued, but the mood was dead. Jake handed me a beer and said, "Didn't expect a speech." I shrugged. Some people need to hear themselves. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. Asterisk you win. For now. Asterisk I knew it was Hannah. But I wasn't done. 3 days later, I found a muddy footprint on my welcome mat. No rain for a week. The cameras showed someone at 1:17 a.m., trying the handle, holding a grocery bag. Contents unclear. 2 hours later, my dad texted. Asterisk I'm tired of being caught in the middle. She's your sister. Asterisk I didn't respond. The next day, I called the locksmith again. New locks on every door, new alarm code, new garage code, old fobs deactivated. I sent a group text. Asterisk no one enters my property. Any keys you have are useless. This isn't up for debate. I'm done being used. Asterisk Jake replied. About time. Uncle Dennis sent a thumbs up. My parents and Hannah stayed silent. My grandma texted later. I don't get it all, but I trust you. That hit hard. Months later, the silence holds. No calls, no visits, no footsteps on my porch. Hannah tried to buy a car, but failed the credit check twice. She got a beat-up hatchback with cash from a side gig and named it Karma. I didn't laugh. I deleted the photo Jake sent. I'm not angry or plotting. The locks are changed, the door is closed, and the quiet is peaceful. A year ago, I wouldn't have believed I'd cut off my parents, walk away from my sister, or lock out the family I used to smooth things over for. I thought keeping the peace meant staying silent, that saying no was cruel, that boundaries were selfish. But when I stopped giving in, everything changed. They didn't collapse because I left. They collapsed because I stopped being their crutch. Now my life is quiet, not empty. I don't dread my phone. I spend money on myself without guilt. I sleep without replaying arguments. I rebuilt my peace, lock by lock, choice by choice. I don't miss them, not really, just the idea of them, the parents who'd protect me, the sister who'd grow up. But that was a fantasy. Family isn't who you're born with. It's who respects you, who shows up without an agenda. That's Jake, Uncle Dennis, a few friends who sent meals when I cut ties. That's me. I don't need their apologies. I just needed my life back.